that. And there's that. Okay, make sure we're good there. And let's make sure we're good here. Alright, so how is everybody doing? Welcome in on a Monday, and we are back officially. We are back, and we are in for the long haul. Quite a bit to get into this evening. I've got some channel updates. I've got some live stuff. I've got kind of really all over the board for you as far as where we are at with the channel. It is a victory Monday as the Lions win. A lot to get into there. So we will get into it. So with that said, let's ahead and let's take y'all outside and show y'all what in the world we got going on here. There we go. Alright, so welcome back. We are on, the Brew Crew today. It has been quite a while since we had been on here. And this is a little bit of a reset. And what we like to do every now and then, what TJ and I like to do, is we like to revise and even really try and make our playthroughs better. So we are on to year 2 of the Brew Crew here, and we've got a little bit of equipment, as you guys can see. I will take you guys through and show you guys TJ's farm. We'll go through mine as well, and we'll talk about what is going to be on the offensive for this playthrough. So obviously you guys remember the house and the garage. We did grab this little shed here. This one is actually one of my favorite little sheds for a lot of good stuff that we're going to be able to utilize for that. We do, of course, only have the one F350. Shout out to Cooper, one of my favorite trucks right there. We have got the main shed here, which is going to be really our only shed for, in specifically, this playthrough as of right now. Now, of course, I do want to add a couple more sheds and stuff, so on and so forth. This right here is going to be the running machine. And so, we're going to have a couple different trailers. Today, as you guys can see, we're going to be getting after some oats. They are not going to be going in bins. They are going to be going to our production that is right over there for the brew. And we're going to be trying to make some money as well. So we have got the Jetco trailer ready to roll, and of course we do have the International on a modified suspension, looking pretty good like this. This one I think is one of my favorite trucks. We use this a lot in 19. Then of course, as you guys can see, we did get us a bigger combine. We got us a Gleaner 85, and it has got the beefies, as I like to call them, on here today. We did grab a honeybee header, so that is what we are going to be using to get rid of these oats, as well as some beans and other things. We do have two fields. One we have to go ahead and lime, but I do want to expand this a little bit. I would like to expand all of our fields if we can, but these are the only two that we are going to occupy for right now. And then of course we have got the 3 rock bins that are ready to go, which is going to be super nice for corn, beans, if I'm ever helping out TJ, and canola, all sorts of good stuff for that as well. So a lot of goodies there. Then of course we have got the auger hooked up to our Alice, which this is going to be the grain train as well, for what we are going to be using to pull our gravity wagons, as well as our auger and some other equipment around. As you guys can see, this big spot here, and as we keep going, really all the way back here to the water, or to this field here, and to the watermill production, there is a lot of room for this field to be improved, and that is what I would like to do, is continue to expand our fields more and more as we get ready for making quite a bit of brew. And we will take y'all over here and show y'all. Eventually, what I would like to do with this as well is there are some new brewing mods out there, whether it's beer or anything else to that matter. Very, very simply, there is quite a bit that we can utilize. And so what I would like to do is over here in this area, have our trailers parked, and then of course possibly in this area, this is going to be for pallet storage. So there's quite a bit that we are going to be getting into with that, and I'm excited for it. This is going to be fun. That's not what I want, but okay. If I can get over here, you should be able, well, we'll just get all the way over here. I kind of figured the hill would help, but alrighty. You guys can see the red shed that is over there. That is TJ's. And so, TJ is going to be way over there doing his thing. We'll be helping him out eventually, but for right now, we are going to be focusing on our own. So I reckon, let's go ahead and let's hop up in the Lodestar and let's get this going and get this trailer filled up because we are going to need it for when we start taking some oats over to our production, as well as getting ready to, of course, sell and make some money as well. So while that's unloading, we will hop back up in the combine and get going here. I need to bring back down the cruise control, and alrighty then. Alrighty, so we are back and ready to roll. And lots to get into today, so give me just a moment here. A little bit of breaking news. The Saints signing pass rusher Jason Pierre-Paul. Alrighty. So we can get into that as well. Michigan, I am going to get into that a little bit. But let's start out with what's coming to the channel and really why I've been gone. Because this has, been interesting, to say the least. I really want to be better, and I want to keep you guys engaged. And so what I am going to be looking at is something very, very interesting here. So obviously we have all the football stuff. That's all staying. So is the farming stuff. There are some additives. One I cannot talk about at the moment, as things that have truly are still up in the air as of right now. But what I will say about it is that it could add a very interesting layer as far as possibly either this channel or even a second channel. Is about the only thing that I could say there. But the thing is that I am very high on, I can't be anybody else but myself. And what I enjoy is this game, and I enjoy fucking sports. And as I said, this channel is not for everybody. But the thing is that at that same time, I do want to build a base for it. Now, obviously, there's a lot to talk about with Farming Simulator, as in particular, one mod pack has certainly got a lot of attention lately, that I think is interesting. And I think it's an interesting conversation, especially for really everybody who enjoys playing this game. But on top of that, I am going to give this more energy, more time. And what I need to do is I need to really balance some things out. And so it starts this week. And I am the type of person that when I do start something, I stand by it. And what I mean by that is that I put a lot of time, I put a lot of energy into it, and I really start to put forth a little bit of an effort into what is next. And what I'm really looking forward to is we have a lot of playthroughs. And I need to treat them equally and not just do one and possibly a third. The thing is that I'm at a weird place. I don't really know what's right of where we're at right now, or do I kind of tick it up a notch a little bit? And that's really what I'm excited to see about this week, is that it is going to be ticked up a notch. And I am excited as far as what it could be. Now, obviously, I'm still going to miss, some days. I'm still going to not be on some days. But on top of that, there's a lot of things that I want to see what it does for the channel, and I want to see where it takes it. Now, the one that I started out with, I will say, if I do get this opportunity, I'm super excited for it. And obviously, it's going to come with sacrifices and certain things of that nature. But what I will tell you is that I am very excited to see where this goes if I do get this opportunity, because it certainly seems like this could be a game changer, and that's really what I'm hoping for. As I said, I started this out on social media, and obviously there is a lot of things that are different with this, and for this one, it's going to be interesting as far as what can come out of it. And I think if you have a passion for something, you should absolutely chase it. And the thing is that no, I'm not going to retire off of this. No, I'm not going to quit my job off of this. But what I enjoy is this as a little bit of a second type of job for me, because I don't just take these notes and listen to the amount of things that I do just to say, well, I listened to it, and so on and so forth. No, I actually listen to it to become better. So that's really where we're at. Now, as far as why I've been gone, things have been getting busy IRL, and it has been interesting to say the least, and that is something that happens. And sometimes you have to miss a week, and that's unfortunate. But what I will say is that the batteries are recharged, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this new idea goes. And I will say, the thing is that there are some personal things, but I'm not going to get into them here. So with that said, that's really the channel update and why I've been gone. So at the very least, I do hope you guys understand. I hope you guys have been doing well, and I do hope that you guys are doing well. So with that said, let's get into the Lions. Lions go on the road, take on the Chargers, and they come home with a win. What a game, first and foremost. That was one for the ages. That felt like a playoff game. And the thing is that the national media, when they call games, and of course you got Tony Romo and Jim Nantz, along with Tracy, one of the best crews from CBS, and you are being looked at and talked about as a real team. You are being looked at and talked about in a way that you have never been before. And what I want to start out with is something that I don't think a lot of people noticed, is Jared Goff. And look, there's going to be a lot of talk around Goff, specifically because of the contract that is coming up, and on top of that, what is on the way from and what is going to come with that. And I will be the first to tell you, this had remnants of Tampa Bay. And what I mean by that is Lions fans travel, but Jared Goff specifically, Jared Goff had to be elite yesterday against the Chargers. And if you're looking at some of those passes, whether it was to Reynolds, to Amon-Ra, in fact, from if I remember correctly, there were two passes in specifically to Amon-Ra that it was right on Amon-Ra, and it was incredible, the windows that he had to throw into, and Jared Goff was making it happen to the best of his ability. And I got to be honest with you, I think more of those games are going to happen as far as the windows that Jared Goff has to throw into. And I'll be quite honest with you, if Jared can continue that, then he deserves to be extended. Period. Amon-Ra was a beast yesterday. The running back duo. To me, I Monday night against the Raiders was Gibbs' coming out party. Man, I think this one was the coming out party of having one of the top running back duos in the league as far as Montgomery and Gibbs go. A positive performance from J-Mo. Getting a catch, getting a block. And those are the types of things that you want to see from Jameson Williams. And look, obviously, this channel is going to be getting on J-Mo because you did not just take J-Mo for him to be slouching. And J-Mo didn't do that yesterday. J-Mo was locked in. J-Mo made a nice block on the 75-yard run from Montgomery. And he was smart about it. He had a catch in the game. That was a nice performance. And as far as it goes, this is going to be a week-to-week thing. And what I hope for is that, and specifically, I hope that it is a good, more good performances from J-Mo than bad. And that's where I stand on that. I did think it was a wonderful performance, a positive performance from Jameson Williams, and that was nice to see, specifically because of you go back to the last game against the Raiders. It was a negative. Of course, gambling man Dan doing his thing, making sure the Chargers don't get the ball back, going for it on 4th and 2. Balls on this guy to make things happen has been incredible. And look, you come out of there with a win. I think Riley Patterson gained some trust within the coaching staff. As far as the game-winning kick, and you should feel good as a Lions fan where we're at. Of course, the negative, which I will continue to go back to, is the defense. And there is quite a bit that I do want to get into. And with that, and that is concerning. And the thing is that there are credible people within the business and who watch this team who agree. And look, we can sit here and we can debate the deadline. And I told you, not doing anything at the deadline, I don't think would cost you a game. But man, oh man, if we were coming here and talking about a loss on this Monday evening, man, oh man, you would like to think that the people who are like me, who were saying you have got to do something at the deadline, quite frankly, would have a valid point, if you ask me. Now, I understand that a lot of people have this narrative, well, James Houston's coming back, and he is going to hit the ground running. Here is where I disagree with that, and the thing is that very, very simply, this is where I don't really understand this narrative, and this comes by way of I believe Justin Rogers. Yes, Justin Rogers of the Detroit News. And I already see where this is going to go, but we'll get to that in a minute. Mid-December at the earliest, he's still in a boot as he recovers from a broken ankle. So here is the deal. This is where people like myself are going to emphasize the defense. You had zero sacks in the game yesterday. I told you what happened on Monday night. You were blitzing with linebackers, corners, defensive line, defensive edge. Aaron Glenn does not want to do that. And the thing is that when you bring everybody, you can get hurt by the deep ball. But in specifically, talking about the game versus the Chargers also had 0 sacks, which to me, the offensive line took that personally, and there's an unsung hero on the offensive line that I do want to chat about in just a moment. But the thing is that this James Houston narrative is all fine and well, but guys, watch that game. Anybody with a football acumen would tell you this defense needs help. And the thing is that it's not the secondary. It is the defensive line. And it's funny because I continue to hear this, well, James Houston's coming back. How does that justify you doing nothing at the trade deadline? And I don't want to hear about right fit, right price. I don't care about that. As I just talked about a little bit ago, Jason Pierre-Paul to the Saints. Anthony Barr back to the Vikings. But this idea that James Houston is just going to save us, I have to be honest with you, is so silly. James Houston is not going to save us. And that's where people like myself were very disappointed in the trade deadline, because went out and got better. The Eagles went out and got better. The Niners went out and got better. And the thing is that if your defense plays the way that they did yesterday, yeah, that's not going to be a recipe for success. But as far as it goes, there was a lot of positive from this game. But the glaring negative was this pass rush. And the thing is that it's funny because you continue to hear these funny little narratives of, well, Brad Holmes drafted, right, and so that's going to help you now. How? That's going to help you get home to the number 1 seed. How? That is going to help you win a playoff game. How? Look, as far as it goes, yes, I do believe that AG does need to be questioned. I don't understand how the guy gets a free pass. I really don't. But here's a quote for you, and this comes by way. This comes away from the reaction show in the postgame. Quote, "The Lions have a chance versus anyone, home or road." And what's funny is that about this comment is that that's great, but except you lost at home in week 2 to Seattle. You got manhandled by the Ravens. And if you think you're going to link, aka Eagles, the Eagles field, and you're going to win there on the road, yeah, I just don't see that. But the thing is that yet again, and I will continue to go back to it, is that if we were coming here talking about a loss today, which again we're not, but let's just say that we are. If we're talking about a loss today, I think people feel differently about the deadline. I really do. And the thing is that very, very simply, the defense has to be better. It has to be. Now look, I thought the calls on Sutton, the call on Decker, I thought that was a little bit questionable at best. But the thing is that you overcame it. But I truly just can't come on here and lie to you and say, oh, well, the pass rush is fine. We're going to get James Houston back. And again, I will read this from Justin Rogers. Quote, mid to late December at the earliest. He's still in a boot as he recovers from a broken ankle, close quote. Look, if you can continue to find ways to win, that's one thing. But the fact of the matter is that your defense has to complement your offense. You know, I saw people talking about, well, this is a very complete team. So let's go ahead and let's define it. Let's define a complete team. Because anybody with a football acumen would tell you there are 3 phases to football: offense, defense, and special teams. If one is not running on all cylinders, guys, it can cost you. And I mean, take a look at the Ravens yesterday. But the fact of the matter is that if you have a complete team, it all goes in the same. Your offense is going to complement your defense. your defense is going to complement your offense. And the fact of the matter is that that's all fine and well that, well, you know, he just wasn't a right fit. You can say that. But like I said, the problem being is that we very much hope that it's not going to cost you. And so that is something that I think is a very, that is in the back of the mind of some of us, quite frankly. This is a claim from a host. And I can't help but laugh at a comment like this because of how far this team has come. And I will explain here in a moment. But here is the deal. Guys, this is your third defensive stinker this season. Your third. Seattle, the Ravens, and this one. And that worries me because I do not want it to cost the team at all. But here is the claim from a host on an earlier day part, and I want to know what you guys think of it. Quote, to say the Lions have no shot at a Super Bowl after this win is very strange and hot takey, close quote. So this is interesting. This is an interesting comment. And obviously, you're going to have those calls to where people are going to say, well, no, this team is not a Super Bowl contender. Or, yeah, this team is a Super Bowl contender. Or this or that. And the thing is that it's all different in essence. But what it is that very, very simply, no, it's not hot takey. Because if you watch the game and you see that the Lions defense could not make a stop after 8 tries on the 1-yard line in the red zone for the Chargers. Now look, they made a stop, yeah, plenty of times. But then it was stupid penalties. The PI on Sutton, which I thought was very, very questionable, considering a few things as far as how that game went. But the point is that, yes, you overcame it. That's what matters the most, and you got out of LA with a win. But this as far as saying that it's hot takey, I will continue to say it. James Houston is not coming back until late to mid-December. And here's the deal. The fact of the matter is that Aiden cannot do this on his own. And the thing is that Aiden is going to have to learn new moves. And I don't think that's wrong at all. The kid was taken number 2 overall. And if we're going to talk about where J-Mo was taken, or we're going to talk about where Gibbs was taken, then we have every right to talk about Aiden Hutchinson. The thing is that yes, I understand he's being double teamed. I understand all of it. But guys, the fact of the matter is that Aiden cannot do this on his own. And this D-line, if you're going to win a playoff game, or if you are going to get to that number 1 seed, or even let's just dare to dream and say Super Bowl, then guys, you need a dog up front. And look, I think you have that in Aiden Hutchinson. I do. But this pass rush ain't getting home. This pass rush has to get home and make a big play on 3rd down, on 4th down, on 2nd down, whatever it may be, and they got to get after it. And look, I think that'll happen. Soft schedule coming up. But the fact of the matter is that you are going to face some interesting players coming up. As far as I don't know if Justin Fields is going to play. Excuse me. In this weekend's game. But the kryptonite is a running quarterback. Now look, I don't think the Bears are going to steal one. I don't think they're ready to. But the thing is that you never know. You can never look over an opponent. We see what the Vikings are doing. I would also like to know your guys' Viking concern meter, as they will just not go away, and Josh Dobbs is making some plays for them, and I'd like to know your concern meter with them. I'm at about a 4 or 5, to be quite honest with you. Now look, let's just say the defense comes out and, you know, they play like how they did this past game. Serious problem here, and I'll be up to about a 10 by the time those Viking games come around. Now, the thing is that, of course, yeah, it's fine to dare to dream, because maybe, just maybe, you might just have this division locked up by the time we get to the Vikings. You never know, but it is possible. Let's also talk about this, but I do want to hear your guys' Viking concern meter. As I said, I'm at about a 4 or 5. I'd like to know where you guys are at. This comment was interesting because I don't really know how to take it. Now, I do think there is very possibly two more games on the schedule that could end up like the Chargers game, to where it is a shootout. And I'll be honest with you, I'm being generous about it, but it is a thought in the back of my head as far as the Saints and Dallas. The fact of the matter is that I think both of those games could be a shootout. And if it is, the defense is going to have to step up. I think you're going to take care of business with the Bears, like I said. I think you're going to take care of business with the Packers. And then, obviously, it is on to the Saints. Now, obviously, we're going to be able to watch the next couple of weeks and really see where that goes. But, yeah, I do think this is going to be, I think those two games could be a part of a shootout. And if it is, I think those are really the only other two games on the schedule that I would really be looking at as far as 50-50. But this comment is interesting. And again, I don't know how to take it. Because as I just talked about, I do think there is two games left on your schedule that could end up being a shootout as far as New Orleans and Dallas. But, quote, we won't have another game like this where it'll be a shootout, close quote. That's from a caller. And when I first heard this afternoon, I didn't really know how to take it because I thought, boy, that certainly sounds like this caller is overlooking a couple of things as far as that goes. Because, yeah, I do think New Orleans and Dallas could be shootouts. And that, like I said, I just can't help but be honest. The defense was a very big concern from yesterday. And then there was this comment, and this is something that I laugh at, and I do mean it with a lot of disrespect when I laugh about something like this, specifically because you're seeing these reports floated out of who was in on these certain trades and all that kind of deal. And what I think is interesting is that, well, let me give you the quote. Quote, well, it's just so hard to be critical of Brad Holmes because the trades other teams made may not have been available for the Lions. Like, I'm sorry, like, I utmost disrespect, but are you serious? You mean to tell me that the Bayard trade the Eagles made was not available to the Lions? The Chase Young trade was not available to the Lions. That is the most intellectually dishonest comment I've ever heard. Because the fact of the matter is that here is the deal. Okay? The fact of the matter is that if you as the GM have plenty, and I mean plenty of resources. You see Howie Roseman do it. You see John Lynch do it all the time. And you're like, wow, I never even knew that guy was available. The fact of the matter is that saying, well, it's just so hard to be critical of Brad Holmes, because those trades that other teams made may not have been available, is laughable. Is absolutely laughable. And the thing is that it's silly. It is really what it is. And the thing is that, look, you're not going to hit on all of your trades. You're not going to hit on all of your draft picks. But the fact of the matter is that the best GMs out there, they find a way to get better. They find a way to acquire talent and still make a call when the time is needed. And look, if the defense comes out and plays with their hair on fire and, you know, their face melting and you know, they're just flying around the field, they're playing violent and hungry, like Dan Campbell said yesterday, then I'll praise the defense. But guys, I'm not going to come on here and lie to you and tell you that this defense played well when they didn't. The defense is a major concern. And I'm looking at this as if we're going to talk about NFC Championship, if we're going to talk about, you know, a home playoff game, if we're going to talk about a Super Bowl, guys, the fact of the matter is that very, very simply, this defense, if you watch the game, has got to play with their hair on fire, and they've got to step it up. And look, as far as the deadline goes, look, I think what matters most, at least in my opinion, is the fact of that the small details are going to matter. That if you can swing a trade to make your team better and not preach about culture, fit, price, all the boring BS, then you will get praised for it. But the fact of the matter is that, okay, great, it didn't cost you against the Chargers. And as I said, I think if anything, I think it will cost you during a playoff game. And I stand by that comment. Now look, I'm still going to pick them to win. I'm still going to pick them to win that playoff game. But that is a thought that should be in the head of Lion fans of that, look, it is time to start taking this team serious. It is time to start looking forward to December. Because I don't remember a December in my life. And again, I'm only 27. I know there's some fans out there who are older than me, but I certainly can't tell you the last time that in a December as a Lions fan that I'm scoreboard watching. And that's what I'm looking forward to as a fan in December. Hell yeah, I want to scoreboard watch and see what other teams are doing. And look, not everything is going to fall right. You're obviously going to have to deal with some adversity. But this team is foraged through adversity. And look, I think this team is going to make the playoffs. I do think this team is going to win the division. And look, I don't think it's hard to say coming away from that game is that, look, I'm stoked about the win. I'm stoked about being tied for the second best record in the NFL. I'm stoked about being 7-2. But yeah, I do think questions need to start being asked about Aaron Glenn, about this defense. And look, as I said, this is really going to complement the whole JMO situation as far as it goes. And it's very, very simple. It is the fact of that it is going to be a week-to-week basis. It's the same way with Jared Goff. It is going to be the same way with the running back duo. It is going to be a week-to-week basis of, okay, what can they do this week? So I think this will be the last load into the trailer, and then we can finally start dumping. Bless me. Excuse me. Alright, so I do have an update here from DR Modding. And let's see here. I've been so busy with IRL stuff and Patreon that I've been neglecting the Facebook page. I apologize for that today. Tathon County standard and row crop versions were given to Patreon testers. This means Tathon is nearing the end of testing. Nearing the end for testing, and it won't be long before it's released publicly. I can't wait for you guys to play on that map. I think it's his best map. I really do. And I think next stream we'll be back on there. But we will be possibly on the server. I don't remember. We'll see. So what's next, you ask? I have several current projects, including several 1x and 4x maps. Cedar River is currently in Patreon testing, which is a 1x map based on an area just south of Plainfield, Iowa, along the Cedar River. It's a real terrain map. It has realistic field sizes. Join Patreon if you are interested in joining the team and helping test all of the current projects going on. So it sounds like Cedar will be at the, I would assume, the end of the month, end of November. 12/22 is going to be the public version of Tathon County. And then Carroll, Iowa, the beta test version will be 12/01. Expected projects, there's a Nebraska 4X, which I'm super excited for. Colorado logging map, which is going to be a 1X. A Vermont map, wow, that's new. 1X, and then an Illinois project, which is going to be a 4X map. So I may do a short on that and give you guys a few of the pictures from this post. It looks incredible. If you guys have not checked out DR, make sure you guys do. He does some very, very good work on his maps. And that will be very, very interesting to see. It does look like as well that Legacy has got some a new shed in the works as well. I will probably do a short on this as well, because it does look incredible, and I cannot wait to start getting into this. Or not get into it, but actually be able to have it in game. This is a 62 by 60 shed. And man, does it look awesome. Very, very nice work by Legacy on that. So I will do a short so you guys can see it as well. So we can get into that in a little bit. OS Farms has got some new stuff on his Patreon as well, and I will say it again, and will continue to say it. That doesn't look good. This channel does support the modders on Patreon. I will continue to say it because it's always been my kind of thing on Patreon, is that, look, if you want quality as far as mods go, you are going to have to wait a little while for mods to be released publicly. And look, as the saying goes, good things come to those who wait. Very, very simple. On top of that, if I am being quite honest with you, I know there's I don't want to call it a war, but like a battle with the Patreon stuff. I never really gotten that whole deal. I guess I could have went across the field, but oh well, it'll be alright. But the fact of the matter is that very simply, I've never really gotten that battle, because the fact of the matter is that a lot of the times with the Facebook groups, it gets leaked. And no, I don't think that's fair to the modder at all, quite frankly. And I mean, obviously, it's the same with Patreon. Some stuff has gotten leaked from there. But again, I think if you want true quality and not focus on the quantity, all of the quality stuff is on Patreon, and the quality stuff it is really worth it as far as that goes with really any of the mods, whether it be pickup trucks, trailers, really it's up to you. The thing is that very simply, as I said, I think the best, not the best, but the quality stuff is on Patreon. And I prefer quality over quantity. PSL has got some new stuff as well, which is cool. So we will get into that momentarily. What I want to do though is I want to switch over to the Tigers for a little bit, as there is a couple of things here that I find pretty interesting, and plus the less I have to talk about Michigan, the better. Because that story continues, and well, it's just kind of, yeah. Let's grab a save real quick. We'll catch you guys on the other side. Wow. Okay then. Alright. So this comes by way of Inside the Diamond, and here we go. Oh boy. Alrighty then. Well, and I find this interesting. I don't. Well, when it comes to a trade, usually I kind of just have everything ready to go. Except for this one. And I'm interested to see how it would be, because I think second base is going to be a need. I still don't know if I buy the whole. Well, honestly, I've never bought into the whole Javi Baez thing, because obviously Harvey is going to Harvey. But the point is that very, very simply, this is interesting, because in a sense, I'm not looking for pitching this offseason for the Tigers. I am going to be looking for bats, because as I said in the last stream, I am expecting this team to win the division in 24, and that's where I'm at. But this team needs some bats. That being Jonathan India from the Reds. Now, this is the first time that I have heard his name allegedly on the market. Now, as far as it goes, like I said, I'm usually the guy that I kind of know what you have to give up. Unfortunately, here, I don't. I don't know if it would be a pick. I don't know if it would be a prospect. I don't know what it would be. Look, I think second base is a need. Obviously, Zach Short, I believe, is over to Tampa now, if I'm not mistaken. But the point is that very, very simply, this could be interesting. Now, I was on the train of Scooble last year, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm probably not gonna get off of that train this year. With E-Rod and him being the douche that he was on his way out, yeah, I'm in specifically, yeah, I'm going to be looking at bats. But this says, his name is floated out again, and what could they use? Maybe a pitching prospect that the Tigers have, decent ones that could get a trade done. So why not bring India to Detroit? Blah, 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 blah. He made his big league debut in 2021 when he slashed a 269, 386, and 459 with an 835 OPS. Well, I can tell right now he would be the best bat on the roster, because I don't think we had a guy even hit over, I think it was like 7 this past season. So you're telling me we can get a young, controllable asset with an 835 OPS? And look, I'm big on OPS. Yeah, I'll take that in a heartbeat. I think it was 670 or 702. I think it was like 7 something was the average. Guys, we didn't even have an average bat last year. That's the whole point. A guy with an 835 OPS. Now again, I understand that was 2021. But Jesus. 22. He has 705 OPS. 746. The guy doesn't commit errors. The guy has stolen bases. And you're talking an above average OPS for a pitching prospect. I love the idea of that trade. Alright, so let's get to this, because this I found interesting. I'm not gonna lie. This was interesting, to say the least, because of the 5 players listed. It was weird in a sense, if you will, that, well, I'm not going to say weird. Let me take that back. I would say there's some interesting choices in this article, and I don't know. I don't really know how to take it, because, as I said, I'm not looking for pitching. I'm looking for bats, because what I want to do is I want to boost this offense and boost this offense into specifically getting more hits, scoring, possibly some homers, especially if Burke can build off of this past season. That would be nice. But the point is that there's 5 players here, and look, I think you can make a case for all of them. But the problem is that they have pitching in here. We don't need pitching. We need bats. Plural. Bats. Okay, so first up on the list is Jordan Hicks. The next one is Tyler Mal. Jack Flattery, Sonny Gray, and Gio Urshela. And the Urshela one is very, very interesting. It says, oh my God. Okay. Bottom line, the idea of signing Urshela is an interesting one. If healthy, could be a nice piece to the lineup. Then it gets into all the pitching. My God. Now look, I do think Hicks would be interesting. I know things got shaky last season with Alex Lang. So I would say that would be interesting, but here's the other thing too. I do think Sonny Gray would be an interesting signing as well, based on we would be able to have a division rival as one of our guys, which I kind of always like that idea, to be quite honest with you. But Urshela has a 745 OPS. Jesus. 280 ribbies, 64 home runs, and 114 doubles. So I like the fact that he's getting the ball in play, but out of those guys, and I'll give you guys the names again, but out of those 5, which one do you think would be the most interesting? You have Gio Urshela from the Angels. Sonny Gray from the Minnesota Twins. Flattery from the Cardinals. Or from the Orioles, excuse me. Matt from the Twins, and Hicks from the Blue Jays. Look, I think you can make a case for all of them. I do like 2 of them, as I said. Give me a second, guys. I love you too. I apologize about that. Interesting. Kind of weird, but what can you do? Alright. So give me a moment here. Regain my composure as that was not what I expected, if you will. But no, like I was saying, I think it's interesting. I think you could make a case for all that. I really do. But at that same time, for me, I would really be looking at a bat. Like, yeah, pitching would be great, but I mean, obviously, the Alex Lang thing, I think is, I think to a lot of it, be a focal point, in a sense. But then again, I guess I look at it differently. Specifically because for me, I want bats. I want to, like, I want to smash the ball, score points, you know, basically fun, if you will. Alright, so with that said, we get to Michigan. And look, there's a lot that I missed. I don't even want to get into that. Because quite frankly, I just don't have it in me to do so. But, yeah, I gotta be honest with you. America's team. Michigan should be America's team because it has been through adversity and criticism. This has just, this has just gotten weird. America's team, because of adversity and criticism. Well, the adversity. Well, first of all, the criticism you brought amongst yourselves, and secondly, adversity? Huh? This is like some politician talk, if you will. Like, this is some wild stuff. like this story went from wild to just, I don't even know. Like, this has just been like, I'm just at a point to where I just don't even understand. Like, is there anybody with me in the sense of that, you know, basically you just don't understand it anymore? Like, I'm being serious. Like, America's team America's team. Now look, I do think it was a boss move what you did in the second half, and I think besides the post-game interview, Sharon Moore did a hell of a job, and he will be a head coach someday. But America's team? Then on top of that, you're going to go and talk Friday. I just... Like, what are we doing? Like, honestly, what are we doing? Like, can we just be done? Like, honestly. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, just, please, no. Please, God. Just stop. No. No. Just... I'm just at a point with it. Well, first of all, what I don't understand is why are you acting aggrieved? You just beat Penn State, which was supposed to be your first real test of the season. You go ahead and win. You pull a boss move in the second half and run it down their fucking throats. Like, what are we doing? I just don't get it. I don't even know anymore, to be quite honest with you. It is wild. And I think the look-ahead line today was 8.5 for Ohio State. Let's see if I can pull up FanDuel for y'all real quick. Broncos are up 15-8. Thank Jesus I am not watching that. You're minus 19.5 versus Maryland for this weekend. Wow, on FanDuel right now. Look ahead line. Michigan minus 5.5 taking on Ohio State. Crazy. I do think they will win. Excuse me 1 minute, guys. Okay. Weird. But yeah, I think they'll win against Ohio State. I do think it's going to be a shootout type of game. But look, I think if Michigan's defense steps up, and look, I think it could be a very, very interesting game. Oh boy. Alright, well, let's get it saved. And but yeah, no, I think it'll be an interesting game nonetheless. Obviously, it is a rivalry game. So look, I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't. Then again, I mean, the line could still move. So I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting nonetheless. We shall see. So with that said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, drop a like, drop a comment. Appreciate y'all watching. We're going to be back some more this week. I can't wait to show y'all what's in the works. I do believe I'm going to get an announcement soon on what is to come. And I hope I'm able to share